We're gonna start this over. We're gonna start this over because I messed up. But this is part 2 of our discussion, and it's on the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Okay, we have been told that in the only organization right now that has told us, or told black people, black and brown people, not to take the vaccine is a Nation of Islam. And Roland Martin of the Roland Martin Show, and on the Hill, what's his name? The one that did 9/11, Michael Moore. Michael Moore was interviewed on the Hill, and between him and Roland Martin, they both were basically trying to shame people into making them feel bad about not taking the vaccine. Michael Moore was telling them, during the interview, that how can we not care for our parents, our mothers, our fathers, our grandmothers, our brothers and sisters, and so forth, by not being vaccinated and putting their life in danger, And Roland Martin, pretty much on the same line, was trying to shame people that we shouldn't have the right to work if we don't take the vaccine, blah, 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 blah. So basically what they're leaving out, especially Roland Martin, I'm going to deal with him first, what's being left out is that he's actually omitting 400 years of white America experimenting on black people. A lot of us are familiar with the Tuskegee experiment, but that's just one. There's a book entitled Medical Apartheid by Harriet A. Washington. This book is about 600 pages long, and it gives a litany of experiments that have been done on black people for the past couple of centuries. And so basically they just, so those who are telling us that we should take this vaccine, that we should trust them, trust the media, and trust that little gremlin Fauci, because he's a scientist. Well, you know what? I don't care if he's a scientist or not. He's a fucking liar. Okay? Now, just to know that it's not just black people that are opposing this, there's another article in the same issue of the Final Call called Thousands. It's entitled "Thousands Protest French Government's Mandatory COVID-19 Vaccine Pass." So now they're advocating that if you don't get the vaccine, you won't have this pass, so you can't go to certain restaurants or ball games or concerts or anything where people gather. So basically they're limiting to what you can do now, and so they're forcing us to try to take this. So those who think that they believe that all of a sudden, America lied about 9/11, America lied about WMDs, America lied about Malcolm, they lied about King, they lied about the Tuskegee experiment, they lied about AIDS, they lied about Ebola, they lied about Columbus, they lied about Jesus being white, they lied about Santa Claus, and all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe them. Well, I say no. So in that one, so that's one book. There's another book that is called Murder by Injection. It's by a guy named, I can't pronounce his first name, it's Eustace, last name is Mullins, Mullins. Murder by Injection, check him out. And in that same issue of the Final Call, by Anisha Muhammad, she gave us another book, which I was not familiar with. I'm going to try to get my hands on it. This book is called It's called Acres of Skin by Alan M. Hornblum, and this particular book deals with black inmates being experimented on. So again, they're trying to shame us into taking this vaccine. We don't know what's in it, and we don't know what it's going to do, if it's going to have any adverse effects on us. Maybe not immediately, maybe in the future, especially women, who may want to bear children in the future. Who knows how this vaccine is going to react, or it's going to have an effect on them. Maybe babies come out all like 3 arms and stuff like that. I don't know. But all I know is that we can't trust them. Okay? So we can't trust these people because again, all they do is lie. All they do is lie. And let me give you another example. What happened in Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri. There was a community in St. Louis, Missouri, where the the Army scientists secretly sprayed St. Louis Black Missouri community with radioactive particles for years, testing chemical warfare technology. The Army did this by mounting chemical sprayers on the rooftops of public schools and public housings. They also mounted a sprayer on station wagons for mobile use. The greatest concentration of spraying in St. Louis took place at the Pruitt Ogue Public Housing Complex, home to 10,000 black residents, 70% of which were children under the age of 12. And the reason they didn't want nobody to know about this because what they were breathing in was zinc, cadmium sulfide with radioactive particles. So, and this was, I don't know if I have the year, but it wasn't too long ago. It was in the 50s. So they've been doing this for a long, long time. So now all of a sudden, they want us to believe them, you know. Now let me just say this for the record, okay? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know nothing about viruses, how that stuff works. You know, I know it kills, but I do have one thing, and that is I have common sense. And common sense tells me that after all the lies, like Kwame Ture told us, capitalism lies all of the time, not some of the time. So they all of a sudden they lie about all this stuff, you know, and they want us to take this vaccine. In fact, Christy Todd Whitman, who was the former governor of New Jersey, she became the head of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, during 9/11, and she came out in a press conference and told the people the air is safe to breathe. But you know what? The air was not safe to breathe, and due to that lie, about 900 people, in the last document that I just saw, about 900 people just died, you know, and so and the government doesn't even want to help them. These are first responders that came to help and try to see if they can rescue anybody that was alive after the towers fell. So, you know, again, like I said, you know, there's no way you're gonna tell me that we should just trust them, you know, because it's just not, you know, it's just not it doesn't make sense. I don't trust them, you know, and I ain't taking no fucking vaccine, you know, the vaccine that all of us should be taking is good food, vegetables, exercise, get some sun, go to the beach, get that salt water on you, you know. Now, again, that's just me. I'm not, you know, this is no medical advice, nothing like that. I'm just saying that, those are some of the things that other people have been doing. Now, again, do what you want, wear the mask, take the vaccine, do whatever you want. But again, you know, if you want to believe them and take it. Because one thing about fear, it works, you know, and most people just fear. And one thing that I noticed, I'm sure a lot of people know, is I see people in their cars by themselves with the windows up with a mask on. That's how deep that fear is. They're so scared that they, by themselves in a car with the windows up with a mask on. I see people jogging by themselves with nobody around with a mask on, you know. So it's just fucking crazy. So no, I don't believe anything that they say. And I don't think you should believe anything they say. I think you should do your own research and make up your own mind. Because there's a long history of white America conducting experiments on black people. And there's another incident that I wrote in my book. It happened in Bikini Island. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Bikini Island, but Bikini Island was in 1947. The U.S. Navy went to Bikini Island and they told the people of Bikini Island, brown people, that America was conducting an experiment that was beneficial to all of mankind, that was going to help all mankind. So the people of Bikini Island was like, okay, so how can we help? He said, well, you have to leave. So, you know, they, being brown people, being who we are, you know, they left. And what happened when they left? The U.S. military dropped a nuclear bomb on Bikini Island. And after the dust settled, they told the people, said, okay, you can come back. And when the people came back, within a week or two, they started coming down with all kinds of sickness and boils on their skin and all kinds of stuff and cancers and everything, something that they never experienced in the whole time. The hundreds of thousands of years that they were there, they never experienced that. The plants, the food was bad. I mean, and then the thing is, these same demons, these same devils came back and said, "Oh, what's wrong? We want to help you. Here, come. We're going to open a facility so we can help you." But they weren't really helping you. Remember, when the wolf hears the rabbit screaming, he comes running, but not to help. So again, make up your mind, do your own research. Don't just follow what they say. Just don't do what they say, and take your life into your own hands, because if you leave it up to these devils, they will kill you, because we have 400 years of proof. So I'm gonna stop it there. And right before I close out, I was reminded in a comment box about books that I recommend that people read. Okay, so we're gonna go through them really quick. Okay, the first book is The Falsification of African Consciousness by Amos Wilson. Then we have another important book, The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley. Very good book. It's a prehistoric sources of Western man's racism, sexism, and aggression. Then we have another powerful book that is a must-read, The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. This is a very good book. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta read it. Then we have another book by Amos Wilson, Black Power. Okay. Then we have, if you go on prisonradio.org, you could actually order a book by Mumia Abu-Jamal, Political Prisoner, and also written by Stephen Victoria. It's called Murder Incorporated. It's 3 books. This one is called, the book 1 is called Dreaming of Empire. Put it right there. Dreaming of Empire. This book 2 is America's Favorite Pastime. And as you can see, hold on, let me get this out of the way. And you can see America's Pastime, dropping bombs, America's Pastime. And then book 3, we have, book 3 is called Perfecting Tyranny. I'm still on book 1. I'm about almost halfway done, but the third one is that. And then we have, if you can get your hands on this one, Foundation of a Black Nation by Imari Obadeli, the founder of the Republic of New Africa. Then we have another book called Reparations, and this actually is several essays by different authors, and it's by an organization called CURE, and they discuss why black people should get reparations. It's a good book. It's a must read. And the next book, a must read, is also get to that. It's by Neely Fuller, and it's entitled The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept of Counter-Racist Code. Check it out. There it is. Then we have another book that's really powerful by Dr. Henry Clark, Who Betrayed the African World Revolution. Okay? That's a good book. That's a book you should get by Dr. Henry Clark. And last but not least, because it's definitely one of the most important ones that I recommend you start with this first, and the ISIS Papers, is Yurugu by Dr. Marimba Ani. Okay? For those who are here, I'm live on Facebook, but I'm trying to get the camera, situated like that. But yes, so I know on the Facebook, I know I'm on the side right now, and I'm trying to figure out how to get both cameras working at the same time, because like I said, I'm still learning this this technology on this podcast, because I got to the point where I just had to say something, and for those who may not know me, I'm a poet. I'm a polemic poet. My poetry's polemical, because we gotta tell the truth, the raw truth, because it's the only way we're gonna be able to set this thing straight. And it's gonna take a lot of organizing. It's gonna take a lot of study. It's gonna take a lot of love, but it's the only way forward. Because right now, the people who are running this planet are psychopaths, and they're, like David Icke said, they're unbelievably sick people. Anyone who could sit in a room and plan out something like 9/11 knowing that it's going to kill a lot of people, not during the event, but even more people dying after the event. They got to be a psychopath. You got to be a psychopath, you know. So again, all I tell people out there, listen, don't listen to me. You know, don't believe a word I say. Just do the research. I gave you a few books, you know, the ISIS Papers, the Iceman Inheritance, the Falsification of African Consciousness, Murder Incorporated by Mumia Abu-Jamal, who's a political prisoner. If you don't know who he is, you should know who he is. Google him. He's been in prison for about 44 years, since 1982, I believe. He's a former Black Panther and a journalist, and he was one of the leading voices in Philadelphia, and they had to find a way to shut him up. So an incident took place in Philly with altercation with a police officer, not with him, but with somebody else, and he tried to intervene to, I guess maybe to, diffuse or whatever the situation was. He was shot that day, and they tried to kill him that day, but he survived, and he's written these books. He's been, like I said, he's been in prison for like 42 years, and he knows more about what's going on outside than most people who are supposed to be free. Okay, so Mumia Abu-Jamal, free all political prisoners. Mutulu Shakur, Leonard Peltier, Russell Maroon Schultz. We have to never forget our soldiers who are behind the wall, because we live in a system that is based on greed and on lying, straight out mendacity, and just death, destruction. Look what they're doing to the planet Earth. They're just destroying the water. We got the water protectors out there in the Midwest, fighting these pipelines that want to go through their territory, through their land, and not only do that, but just the idea that these pipes, they burst, they'll poison like millions and millions and millions of people who live downstream of that particular area will have nothing but poison water. Okay, so we gotta remember the water protectors are indigenous people, because they're the ones who basically know, and I've always known, have always had a custodial relationship with our mother, because we are related to Mother Earth, and and the people that came here, they have no concept of that. To them, they just see money. They see a forest, they want to rip it up. They want to tear up the forest in Brazil and all over the world. And that's, the forests, according to scientists, are the very lungs of Mother Earth that soak up all the poisons and the carbon dioxide that we release. We breathe in oxygen and we release carbon dioxide, and the plants absorb that. So we have this relationship with the plants. We share this. We give them carbon dioxide and they give us oxygen. So it's a beautiful relationship. But again, the people that came here, these Europeans, ganged up on the world, don't understand this, and they have been destroying the world ever since. And so it's important for us to look at these concepts and get deep into the stuff, get into these books, start reading groups. Like I said, take these books. I'll write them down. I'll put them in the comment section for those who may not, forget. I'll put them in the comment boxes and stuff like that, so you can get these books, start reading groups, and like Kwame Ture again that teaches us, organize, organize, organize. And if you out there and you are not part of an organization, I'm sorry to tell you, you're part of the problem, because this is not Hollywood. One person can't do this, and so we cannot allow the further destruction of our mother, because we have generations right now that are going to be coming up, and what are we leaving them? And if we don't do anything, they're gonna ask, well, Mom, Dad, what did you do? Did you do anything about this? Right now, when I was coming up, the worst thing that can happen to you is that you fall down, you scrape your knee, right? And that's it. Now you got children having to go to school with masks on. Really? Is this what we're coming to? So we got to fight. We have to organize. But again, YouTube, and Google. Those are good tools to use, but you cannot get away from the text. We have so many texts. Wretched of the Earth is another book by Frantz Fanon that should be read. We have Message to the Black Man by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's another book. We have Kwame Ture, Black Power. That's another book that you should get. And I'm going to be giving different books, as I move forward on these different episodes on this podcast. So that's the deal. That's the deal, family. You know what I'm saying? Again, think for yourself. Do your own research. Don't believe anything I say. And if and then from there you could do what you want. The information. Put it this way, I'm like Morpheus, and everybody out there is Neo. I'm giving you the key. Now it's up to you if you want to walk through the door. You want the red pill, the blue pill. That's on you. Just like he told him in the movie, it's on you. You take the blue pill and you go back. You wake up in your office and you'll never remember anything and just go on your merry life. You take the red pill and you're gonna see what's going on behind the curtain. So, family, peace out, and don't forget, smash the like button, make the comments, and remember, we love you. Black Power. Peace.